Hello everybody, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about what I did wrong and what I would have done if I had to do all over again. Um, I've always been a hard worker. I've always had 3 or 4 jobs ever since I was like 16 years old. Um, Both my parents always worked. Um, we were we were always like middle class. Um, we started off, my dad was working full time in a factory, and then my mom got a factory job, and it never seemed like we had um, a lot of extra income. My dad had a few toys. He had a motorcycle and a sports car, but we always seemed to be, struggling, like never quite being able to do the things we wanted to do. Like we would maybe take one vacation a year. We'd go to like Cedar Point or something inexpensive, or we go camping, but never really had a lot of extra money to do anything with. So when my parents separated, it was even a harder struggle because my mom worked in a factory, and I couldn't believe, like, when she told me how much she made. Like, I can't even believe people could survive on, like, back then minimum wage was like $2 or $3. When I was growing up, it was like $3, $3.35. Of course, things were a lot cheaper back then, but there was never really a way to get ahead. And neither of my parents really knew about stock market. They didn't know about much about interest rates or how to invest or real estate. So basically, the only thing um, they were able to accumulate wealth from was the purchasing of our home, and through that, um, we were able to buy more properties and some rental properties, but we were never able to do that till later in life. So I have a lot of my guys that work with me, younger guys. They always ask me, "Hey man, it's like, what would you do if you were me?" Or, "Hey, how about starting a business?" Or, "I want to start a landscape company," or, "I want to start a tree service. I want to start this business, or I want to start that business." It took me over 20 years. I've had over, I don't even know how many businesses, and worked over how many jobs, and went to college, went to trade schools, learned to be an electrician, went to massage therapy school, moved around looking for better work. I've worked in construction, just you name it. I've done almost a little bit of everything. Almost like a uh, master of trades, just like a little bit of everything. And I've always worked hard. Like I said, I've always tried to save my money. I've always been pretty frugal. Never really went out and just splurged and spent a bunch of money on cars and stuff, or jewelry, or entertainment. And but if I were to do it all over again, I wouldn't even went to college. Right out of high school, I would have got a job, and then I would have stayed at home as long as I could, because when you live at home, you have no bills, no expenses. So if you're a younger person, like still living at home with your parents, still in high school, just get a job, take all your money and invest it. I know it's a struggle because you always want to buy a car, you want to buy all these fancy things, iPhones and stuff, but just be frugal, start saving at a young age, and start investing at a young age. And see, back when I was growing up, you had to have you didn't have like apps like Cash App. You didn't have apps like Robinhood and all these other apps where you can invest in the stock market with no fees. You had to get a stockbroker. You had to pay fees. You didn't have access to um, information about companies like instantly on your phone. You can hit a button and read all about any company you want. You can Google any company you want, find out their financials. Click on YouTube and watch anything you want to know about any company. Find out their profit and loss statement. I mean, you have access to so many things, but I think you'd be better off take all that money, unless you're going to be a doctor or lawyer, but even then, like all that money that you save, you can invest. And if you start investing when you're young enough, you can be retired way, way before you're 30 years old. I mean, you know, just think if you would have invested, you know, every day, like say at the end of the week, you save 50 or $100 and you invested in Tesla or one of these fast growing companies, and 5 or 10 years later, you get out of high school, and instead of going to college, you teach yourself. You can learn anything you want from YouTube or anything you want over the internet. Um, I just think college, it's overrated and it's very expensive. Unless you get a Pell Grant or some type of grant that pays for school, I would not take out a humongous loan at any interest rate. I have two sisters that have doctor's degrees, and it took them half their life to pay off their loans. And a lot of these people, they've never paid their loans off. That loan's going to follow them for the rest of their life, and it's always a burden on them. And it's so expensive to go to school, and the interest rates by the time you get out, it's like something that's like almost impossible to pay off. I would much rather invest my money into the stock market and save every penny I have. Before you move out, take all your money and invest it. Do you spend that time on researching companies that you like and companies that have a lot of growth potential, and you can diversify a little bit. But just another thing I would do is is become a member of a couple stock market buying situations. Other people that are looking into stock, other people that are investing. Get a mentor that's already made money in the stock market, and just surround yourself with people that are of like-minded, that are very interested in making profit in the stock market. Find guys that or girls that just have experience. Hang around people that have experience. You can talk to online to just about anybody. Watch. I mean, there's just unlimited ways you can educate yourself on the stock market. But like I said, if the earlier you start, the less expenses you're going to have, and the bigger percentage of your income you can invest. And who knows, by the time you're like 30 years old, like I have a guy, I think he's like 26, start investing now. I told him, I said, by the time you're 30, dude, you could be set. I mean, just take a little bit of your weekly pay and just invest every week. And like I said, with Cash App and Robinhood and some of these other apps, you can buy fractional shares. So like you can put $1 a day, you can put $10 a week, you can put, I mean, I think $1 is like the minimum, but still, it's not back in the day when you have to buy a whole share. You can buy whatever amount you want over $1. It can be $1.01 or $1.50 or $1.75. But start investing when you're young. Don't worry about all this other BS. You don't need the newest and the best Apple phone. You don't need the newest and the best iPad. You don't need the newest and best laptop. You don't need the newest and the best car. Get something and use your parents' cars. use other people's cars. I mean, Uber or Lyft. Take all that money you're going to spend on car payments and car insurance and invest it. And someday you'll be able to buy anything you want. And when you get all the money that you need, believe me, like you always want better than what you have. But once you have the money to get whatever you want, you don't always get the best thing you want. You grow out of that. You just get what you need. And so that's all I have to say. Anyway, invest when you're young. You have a lot more potential, because if I would have invested when I was young instead of going to college, if I would have invested all that money into the stock market instead of all these businesses I've had. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars starting businesses and wasted a lot of time and money. And when you invest, it's return on investment, ROI. If you would add up all the money I invested into companies and trying to get the companies to work and profit, yeah, a lot of the stuff I did was profitable, but it took a lot of money. It takes money to make money when you own and operate a business. It takes so much time and effort and money, and it takes like your whole life you have to pour into your companies to make them run, because a lot of times nobody's going to take care of your business like you are. So you're going to spend a lot of blood, sweat, and tears trying to get things to work, and you're going to be disappointed in a lot of people that you have help you, because they're just, sometimes they don't have your best interest in mind. So anyway, if you like this video, crush the like button and invest young. Don't invest in college or like all these trade schools and stuff. Unless you can get free education or it's very inexpensive, and start investing in the stock market when you're young. Educate yourself. The education's out there is free. So I guarantee you're going to be a lot better off. Instead of spending $250,000 on school, put $250,000 in the stock market and see what happens. But do your due diligence and do your homework. This is Roger with Roger's Reviews. Hope you have a great day. I hope you take my advice and invest when you're young and retire and enjoy that money before you get old. Have a great day.